Hey folks, we're going to get started this afternoon. I want to say welcome to Real Estate Masterclass, and we're going to just chat a little bit about how to help you and answer some questions at the end of the day. And the day is really going to be pretty short. We're only going to be about 10 minutes, so no frets there. We're going to get in here and talk. Hopefully, things that'll be really helpful to you on getting your home ready for the market. So if you're thinking it's about time to put your house on the market, it would be important for you to think about what are the things that you need to do to get your home ready. You don't want to go into that process unprepared. The better prepared you are, the easier the process will be for you, and potentially more dollars you can get for your house, which is important. Every seller wants to get as much money as they possibly can from their sell of their house. And contrary to that, every buyer wants to get the best deal they can. So what you want to do is you want to set yourself up in the best possible position to have your home ready to be on the market so that you don't take the hit. You don't sell the house to someone who gets a value because of things that you could have avoided. So that's what we're going to talk about today, real quick. Um, Staging tips. Why is it important to stage your house, and maybe some real simple tips on how you can do that. And then curb appeal. That phrase that became famous with the HGTV movement in the early 2000s. Curb appeal, everybody became familiar with that. We'll see why that's important. Interior appeal, same idea. But what is it that attracts people? What is it that detracts or distracts people from being interested in purchasing your home? So let's jump right into staging tips. The very first thing and most important thing is to declutter. Many of us have, some of us are very OCD and anal about things, and everything has its place and everything's in its place and everything's clean all the time. And there's a few of us out there like that. That's not me. And it's not most of you. So one of the first things you'll need to do is just get rid of all that stuff that's just laying around. Maybe it's accumulating, on your dining room table or on the island or on the kitchen counters or on the bathroom counter. Recently see videos on the YouTube or the Facebook Reels of the gentleman's side that's super clean and um, the wife's side that has tons of paraphernalia for getting ready every morning. Just getting that stuff in the right place. How do clean the house kind of like I did when I was a kid, and I just shoved everything under the bed and in the closet and then shut the doors. Maybe not the best idea, but the idea was it looked clean, it felt clean, everything was out of its way. So declutter. The second thing to think about is to depersonalize. When someone's walking into a home, you want them to see the home and not necessarily see things that are important to you. So maybe there's some, vacation photos or things on the wall that, you have a full whole hallway full of family photos. While that's not a completely bad thing, it is a good idea if you're going to be moving anyway to go ahead and start packing some of those things that you want to keep. They're sentimental, of course, and get those, family photos off the wall. Maybe replace them with something else if it's a significant wall in the home. But you want people to be able to come into the home and see the home, not see the clutter, not be distracted by the clutter, or not be distracted by photos of you or your family or other personal items that are very, that could potentially distract. So the idea is to make it very palatable for the people as they come in. As far as staging goes, that's kind of unstaging, and then setting things up for keeping things simple things in a room. So you may be in a bedroom if you're not living in the home. If you're living there, live there by all means. But if you're not, you need to maybe just keep a bedroom or a bed and a side table in the bedroom. Everything else can go. In the bathroom, just maybe a couple of decorative things on the countertops, and kitchen same way. Everything can go ahead and go, and just keep some simple things. Maybe just a dining room table with a centerpiece, and a couple of attractively or stylishly placed decorations or small appliances on the countertop, just so again people don't see the stuff, they see the home. That's what you want them to see because that's what they're going to buy. So, we look at there's some quick staging tips. Next thing, we're talking about curb appeal and really interior appeal together. The ideas, the concepts will translate between both outside and inside. And really want to talk about minor repairs and updates. Many times when you get into a negotiation of a home, someone offers a certain price, and then you have an inspection period. And during that inspection period, the buyer is going to look over that home with a fine-tooth comb. And they're going to find every little thing that could be wrong with that house. And it's not a bad thing because that buyer, they need to know what they're buying. It's only fair for them to have the opportunity to know as much as they can about this home before they purchase it. And during that inspection period, a lot of times, several minor repairs are brought to the attention of the seller, maybe for the first time. If you can address those things ahead of time, maybe the ceiling fan is squeaky, or maybe there's a drip in the bathroom faucet. Those things are relatively inexpensive, or they're even DIY projects to take care of. Those minor repairs can translate, if you don't address them, into major cost savings for the buyer, which means your bottom line goes down as the seller. And then similar to that is any kind of updates. If you need to paint a room, maybe one of your children wanted to have the wall orange. That was the case in our home a few years ago, and it'd been a good idea to paint that room more neutral color, just so again it's not distracting. You want the people that are buying your home or potentially buying your home to see you want them to see the home and not be distracted by unnecessary things. So any kind of updates with painting is relatively inexpensive. You can do some minor, maybe there's a really old ceiling fan or something that just looks dated. If it's, ceiling fans, you can pick up a nice ceiling fan for, $150 at Lowe's and install that yourself, or call a family member, or even have an electrician do that. If it's a significant improvement in that place, it's relatively inexpensive and it can translate into more dollars in the end. There's other things that you can do, on the inside. Maybe you need a new kitchen faucet, or you've got a cracked window. Those kind of things really translate into lower ultimate bottom line because they have to be addressed by the buyer, and they're going to address that by saying, well, if I have to deal with it, I want to take a little bit more off the price. Or they're going to ask you to fix that, repair that during that inspection process. So make those minor repairs, make those updates. On the outside, maybe you need to just trim the bushes, or make sure the lawn is mowed well and edged and it's clean and it looks like you've been taking care of it. Maybe you've got a couple of gutters that need a little bit of attention. Those minor things can translate again into major dollars. And if you're a buyer, you walk into home with those kind of things, it can either deter you and say, you know what, it's too much work. I'm not really interested in that. I want something that's completely move-in ready, or it translates into some kind of discount for the buyer, which again reduces your bottom line. One thing I often recommend when we're helping a family list a home is to get a pre-sale inspection. So when the buyer comes into the scene and they say, "Hey, we agree on a price. Now I'm going to enter my inspection period." More times than not, they're going to hire a professional inspector, and that inspector is the one who's going to go through that home inch by inch and find everything that's wrong with it. And it'll find things that are right with it too. But what I recommend many times is that you engage with an inspector prior to listing your home, so that all those minor repairs are listed out for you. It gives you a great to-do list on what do I need to do to get my home ready. Maybe there's this repair. Maybe you need to change out this electric outlet. Maybe you need to, maybe they discover something that you don't know that's wrong with the home. When you get to the inspection with the buyer, there's no surprises. And it really can be helpful. Also for the buyer to, I've had situations where the buyer saw that inspection and said, you know what? That's good enough. I don't need a separate inspection. And you can disclose anything that you repaired from that inspection, or disclose things that are still needed to be repaired. You don't have to do all the things that are listed on that inspection, but at least you know. And you can make any updates that you want. If they're relatively inexpensive, typically they're going to translate into a better value for you in the end and less of a potential negotiation point for a buyer. So there's a couple of things on staging and getting your home ready to be on the market, curb appeal, and interior appeal. A couple questions that have come through are, what are some cost-effective ways to stage? So it's really can be cost-effective to stage in just keeping things simple. You don't need a lot. Sometimes an empty home is not a bad thing. In other situations, it's definitely a positive thing to add a few things. Leave a bed and a side table, or if you don't have a bed, maybe you find some boxes and drape a bedspread over the boxes, a couple pillows on it. That absolutely works, does a great job. Maybe you use a couple of air mattresses to create the illusion of a bed in that room. It just adds a little bit of a touch. It shows a little bit of care and importance of making the home look good to a buyer. So, I mean, there's different ways to stage, and that's one of the things that we can do is helping you understand what you might do, what you might not do in the staging and the decluttering and the depersonalizing things. Those are things that we help people do every day as we help them sell their homes. Another question is that get is should we remove the personal photos? Absolutely, yes. If possible at all, that's definitely a positive thing. So that's about it. Hey, I promised it would be short and pretty quick. We do these every 2 to 3 weeks throughout the year, and our next session is on February 13th. We'll be talking about what's an inspection versus what is an appraisal, and look forward to seeing you then.